Howdy, howdy, everybody, and welcome back to Stranded Deep in Conversation. A little talky talk, we walk the walk. Today, in particular, you can sit back and enjoy the game, or you can just sit back and enjoy the conversation, whatever you feel the need to do. And today, I figured if we're playing one game, we may as well just talk about a completely different one. So once this loads, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Well, it's loading anyway, but it didn't matter. There we go. So I assume that one's us. Just gonna play. We are going to be talking about another game that I have not showed interest in the channel yet, but I would like to. And that is Pokemon. I feel like everyone, at least to a certain degree, likes Pokemon, whether it be a specific Pokemon or a specific Pokemon game. Me personally, I started playing Pokemon around Pokemon X and Y because that was the first time I got a Nintendo 3DS. I never had a DS as a kid. I had a 3DS. I was always jealous of one of my friends that I would always hang out at the library with because he had a DS. He had a DSi, and he never really did anything with Pokemon, which is truly a shame. If for those of you who are paying attention to the game, yes, I did still not have an axe from last time. Yeah, I really don't know what I did with it, so we're gonna try and make a new one. But yeah, Pokemon was just an absolute. Oops. Was something that I did a ton as a kid. I still do it a lot now. I've gotten the most recent games, and I have enjoyed them. You know, everyone gives shit to Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, rightfully so. They essentially just stole people's money in an attempt to, they made a faithful rendition. Let's just say that much. And they did make little changes that were nice and all, but a lot of people, myself kind of included, thought that those changes weren't enough to distinguish it from the game that they were starting it from, so. Oh, but it's fine. But we're not here to complain. No. Well, at least not about just the games. No, we're here to complain about people's opinions. People's opinions on, not the games, but the Pokemon. What is your favorite Pokemon? Think about it right now. Okay. You thinking about it? Well, if you are not thinking about any of the Pokemon that I'm about to list off, you're strong, according to both myself and the community, because I went through a whole lot of tier lists. I ranked my own, and then I viewed the community's tier list to see what the general average was for people, to see what their favorite Pokemon of each individual type are. So I figured I'd categorize it by that. And then I have a bunch of subcategories if we still have time for more, so don't you worry, there's plenty to think about. So we're gonna start with the communities, and then we're gonna move into mine for each type. So let's start with fire. So for fire type, the community's best, the ones that they loved the most. Oh, actually, make this was Arcanine, and I feel like that's kind of expected. Arcanine is like one of top dog fire dudes. Everyone has him. Everyone likes to use him. He's a good Pokemon. This is still empty. So it makes sense to me that he's one of them. But I mean, I think he's okay. I mean, I don't really. This is it. He's cool. I like him. He's cool, but I wouldn't go. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's one of my favorites, but I definitely wouldn't go around saying that. But the other one, because I did take a couple for some of these anyway. Second place was Infernape, and Infernape I can respect and agree with a lot more. I think a much better design overall, a much cooler thing, also a starter Pokemon, so definitely a lot of reasons to like that guy. As for their worst, they chose... Now, and also when I looked at these lists, a lot of the bottom of the barrel ones were like newer game forms, or like different forms, or different modes, or just different like forms, you know. So like it would be like a Hisuian region variant, or like a Thunderous Therian or whatever. So I tried not to use those. I didn't want to leave those at the bottom, because while they technically are the bottom, not nearly as fun to talk about, you know. So technically, on the bottom of the fire list was Hisuian, Growlithe, and Typhlosion. Two very bizarre choices, by the way, but I don't know how to fuel. Oh, how do I add more? Oh, I see. No, I don't want to use this. I need rope. There we go, and there. We'll just put it in there, I guess. I put the log in the fire. Okay, but yeah, so... How am I talking about? Yeah, so Hisuian, Growlithe, and Typhlosion, I mean, they're okay choices, but I mean, for worst, I wouldn't say they're the worst in this, like, at all, honestly. But then we move into I would say technically the worst Pokemon, according to them, which was Carkol. Yeah, he's a Gen 8 dude. I had not actually played Sword and Shield. I really wish I have. I want to at some point anyway. But I just haven't gotten around to it. So, but I would like to at some point. So I don't have much experience with Carkol. He looks kind of cool. It's just, I'm assuming it's just because he's a second stage, so no one really had attachment to him. And I feel like that's the same thing with a lot of second stage Pokemon. No one really thinks of them except for just looking at like the awkward stage of good Pokemon, or just like, ooh, am I allergic to coconuts? I don't understand. Ooh, oh god. Oh yes, that's great. Okay. Okay. Can I like scoop this? Nope, that's... I don't know what I'm doing, by the way. But yeah, so... Ooh. I'm trying to fill it. Okay, well, I think we're just gonna die. But that's okay. Death is completely inevitable. But yeah, so then let's move into mine. I know, I'm getting very off track. I'm not good at talking and playing games, so... But I wanted to have something going on. My favorite is Entei. For fire, anyhow. Super cool design. As a kid, I loved him. And you can just tell by looking at him he's a fire type without just having all the fire on him. Same thing with my second pick, Talonflame. Talonflame, I grew attached to a lot in my playthrough as a kid of X and Y, where I called him Brave because a YouTuber I watched at a time called Munching Orange also called it Brave, and I was like, wow, that's such a good name. I'm gonna use that. That's such a, wow, what a good name. Stupid, absolutely, but yeah. I really want to fuel this fire. As for my least favorite, and this is a surprisingly controversial one, because a lot of people seem to like this guy. I don't see it. It's Magmar. Just truthfully, I mean, it's just Magmar. I mean, he's weird looking. He's just, like, his face is weird, his body's weird, he got, like, weird ribs around his, he got weird, like, ribbage around his body. It's just a weird guy all around, in my opinion. But, I mean, people seem to like him, so But I think they're completely wrong. So, you know what? That's okay. People can be wrong. People are wrong. Can I cook this? No, I can only grow. We're going to die. So yeah, Magmar is my least favorite Pokemon. In terms of water, moving into water, the community's favorite, by a mile, by the way, was Gyarados. Well, not by a mile, but Gyarados was a very popular pick amongst the most favorites. And I can see it. He's not at all an offensive design. You know, it's easy to look at, and he's just a cool looking dude. Second place was Lapras. Again, what I imagine is for the same reasons. You know, he's just kind of cool. He's gaming. He just looks crazy. Lapras is. I probably like him more than Gyarados. I don't care too much for Gyarados. But I mean, granted, my favorite isn't really that great. So, but we're not gonna talk about that. As for the worst of the water, according to the community, this is something that I don't really like. I can kind of see. It's Binacle from Gen 6. And, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, especially compared to what he becomes, not a great looking dude at all. Like, nowhere close. I need water. How do I give it water? I don't understand. But, I mean, you know. Man, Bionicle could look a lot cooler. I feel like if they... But at the same time, I don't know how they would have improved on him, so... As for my favorite in the water category, that would be Octillery. For those of you who don't really know Pokemon too much, Octillery is just a super basic looking octopus guy. When they originally made him, they were going to make him look like a tank, and they were going to have Remoraid look like a revolver, which is why he kind of still has that general shape to him, which I always thought was incredibly cool. It's unbelievable. We're just gonna sleep. Maybe we'll just die in the morning. Who knows? But, I mean, yeah, I just really like him. He's cool. Oh my word, this is impossible. Okay. Well. Yeah, I just always loved octopi as a kid. My favorite type of Pokemon, not Pokemon, just animals in general as a kid, were aquatic ones. Like, I always had the books of them, and I have a very distinct memory, not of like Octillery, but just in general, of my family gathered around the kitchen table, which was also like the dining room table and all that. We had them both in the same room. Shut up. And we would just take a bunch of paper bags and make a bunch of little paper bag puppet dudes, and we'd always make them of little aquatic animals. And I don't remember many of them, but I do remember when I made my blue ringed octopus one, and that was by far my favorite because it looked the coolest. I need crab. Why did I wake up in the middle of the night? I need crab. Wake up in the morning. Can't sit against this. Well, you freaking woke me up here. Okay, but yeah, so that's my favorite for the water type. Okay, we need to... I didn't think this would take so long, so we really need to blitz through this list. My least favorite, far and wide, Pelipper and Wingull. For no other reason than a very distinct memory I had whenever I'd play Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, of just finding nothing but them, to the point where I was so annoyed as a kid that I just swore off them, and I hated them, and I still do. That sentiment is still with me today. I don't care how kind of cute they are a menace to society. And I don't like them. As for other things, as for grass, the community pick was Leafeon. Second place was Venusaur, which really surprised me, because I love Bulbasaur, my favorite of the first generation picks. It's still one of my favorite starters in general. But I would have never expected Venusaur to make it to the top, because I don't really care that much for Venusaur. He just kind of looks okay. Like, he's just big and chunky and kind of weird looking, but I mean, it's fine, I guess. But yeah, Leafeon took first pick, and I can totally see why, because for my favorites, as a little spoiler, Leafeon was my second place. Because they're just so cute. They're definitely my favorite evolution, and they're just generally awesome looking. For their least favorite, they have Deerling and Sawsbuck, and not all of them. Like, there's 4 different variants of them, but most of them, for both of them, were on the bottom of the barrel. Like, I think only, like, Summer Deerling and, like, Spring Sawsbuck weren't on the bottom. And that's weird. I never really saw that. I always loved them. Because I guess they look like deer, which I guess is why most people don't like them. I'm a big fan of the basic looking Pokemon, apparently, from what I'm understanding. From looking at these lists and, like, comparing what I like and don't like. And yeah, I'm definitely a bigger fan of the more basic looking dudes. Which is fine. I mean, nothing wrong with that. And then as for my favorite, that would be Bulbasaur, as I was saying before. Like, yeah, Bulbasaur is just so cute. He's in, like, just in second place would definitely be Leafeon. I might put Leafeon above Bulbasaur, but I just have so much love and just memories of using and loving Bulbasaur. Like, I had a Bulbasaur plush that had like a little pocket in the back, so you can just put stuff in it, and I just love doing that. I don't know what the hell all these logs are for. I'll gather them anyway. But yeah, as for my least favorite, that would be Gloom. They are literally just a bigger Oddish, a smaller Vileplume, even, that just looks completely gross. They look weird. I don't like them. They're just drizzling what looks like semen out of their mouth, which is funny, but it doesn't make for a good Pokemon. For Electric, community pick was Jolteon, another evolution, which I can totally get. I think Jolteon's okay. I don't think they're my favorite evolution, as I said, but they're up there. They're cool. I mean, yeah, nothing to hate. And their second place is my first place for best pick, which is Ampharos. Ampharos is the cutest sun gun you could ever get out of a Pokemon, I think. Well, he's not, maybe not ever, but he's up there, for sure. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he's just a dude. Grab the crab. As for least favorite, the community seems to agree that Arctozolt is the worst electric type, who is one of the fossil dudes from Gen whatever the hell. I don't know, 8, that's what it is, it's 8. And I can kind of see that. I don't really care much for the fossils of that generation. The idea is cool, but just how it came to be, I just can't, I don't like it. And then as for as I said, my favorite was Ampharos, and my least favorite was definitely Dracozolt. So a different one of the fossils. I didn't want it to be that way, but I just couldn't help but hate it. It's just so oops. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. It's just, he's not good looking Pokemon. They're not good looking. They're just, I feel like they went out of their way to make them just hideous. Like, to make, I don't know. But one of the things I noted on for the electric types is that a lot of people do not like the Pikachu clones, or just like any of, like, a lot of the different variants of Pikachu. Like, I get it. Pikachu doesn't deserve like 30 million different types of him. But you know, I mean, I feel like people might be overreacting a little bit. I feel like they're design-wise they're a lot cooler than these freaking fossils anyway. But I digress. As for Mimikyu, as for Ghost type, Mimikyu had won the general poll there, and I get it. It's a good Pokemon, but I feel like people hype this dude up so much just because of the lore. Like, obviously it's cute lore, you know, like, he wants to be loved, so he dresses up like Pikachu, which is cute, I suppose. I do like it. It is nice, but just, did this cook? I don't think it cooked. But yeah, I mean, it's cute. I can't knock it. And then as for their least favorite, it was Sandygast, who is Gen 7 sand dune looking dude. Which is, I mean, I think he looks okay, but I can see why they don't like him too much. He's very basic design. As for my favorite, I have a lot of ghost Pokemon that I just generally like Mismagius and Sableye and all that, but I think Shedinja is definitely my favorite. It's because of the concept. I use him a lot when I play Pokemon. He's just so much fun to use. Like, when you can find the right team to use against him, use him against, it's just so much fun watching that happen. As for my least favorite, I think Doublade. Going back to what I said about the second evolution, just kind of being weird, just weirder versions of everyone else. That is exactly what the situation is there. I don't think anyone has fond memories of a Doublade, because who honestly cares about Doublade? Like, he's kind of, like, he's not even that cool looking. Like, at least Honedge is one sword, and then freaking Doublade's like, what if we just double that? You know? Like, let's just be, like, really cool. And it's a super ingenious concept. Let's make me, but again, it's just unoriginal and boring, in my opinion. As for Psychic, the population agrees that Alakazam is the best Psychic type. And I feel like a lot of that is based on nostalgia. I don't think they're the coolest looking. Like, the second place Metagross, I like him a lot more than Alakazam. But albeit, I barely used either on our team, but I use Metagross a little bit more, so I probably have a little more bias towards him. As for their least favorite, there is Dottler, another second stage evolution. This one for Orbeetle, a Gen 8 bug. And, I mean, I get it. It's very boxy. Like, I feel like they really didn't try with that. They were just like, how are we going to show a little worm turning into a ladybug? Let's just make a box. But add some more edges and we'll make it work. We'll make it work, I swear. It's not great. As for my favorite, and again, a lot of nostalgia kicking in, but also I just like the design. I put 3 down. I have Unknown, which is fair because I always loved Unknown. He's just such an interesting design. He's kind of cool all around. As for my second place, I put Natu, because I think Natu is pretty cool. He's just a really cute looking bird dude. And first place is Giraffe. Very basic giraffe looking Pokemon, but giraffes were probably one of my favorite animals as a kid. They still are pretty cool. And just the design is so nice. I mean, I really genuinely like Giraffe. He's a cool dude. I like the name. It's palindrome. There's nothing to hate about Giraffe. I guess it might be just a little too basic. And then my least favorite is Gothita, the first evolution of Gothorita. Or Gothitelle. I don't remember which one's the last evolution. I don't really care for that evolution line at all. It's literally just a person in a dress. I mean, But Gothita is definitely the ugliest of the 3. As for dragon types, people seem to love Garchomp a lot. And second, which is surprising. His second place was Rayquaza, which I thought was going to be the first pick, but people seem to appreciate Garchomp more. I don't know if it's because of just how overpowered he is, especially Cynthia's Garchomp. He's cool though. He's definitely not one of my least favorite. He's definitely up there for sure. As for their least favorite, similar to Bug, or I guess Psychic, Shelgon was the least favorite there. There's another second stage sort of just ball. You know, like it's just they could have done something cooler, but I do like Shelgon. He's kind of cute in my eyes. Is this freaking meat ever gonna cook? Oh, let's see. I'm not. We need water. I don't know how to get water otherwise. All the leaves are. You kidding me? Now there's water. Okay, I don't understand that. As for my favorite, I have Flygon as my favorite dragon because they're cool. I use them a lot. They're just a really good design, and they absolutely deserve a Mega Evolution, and no one can tell me otherwise. In second place was Zygarde, because I love Zygarde. You're gonna, if I have time anyway, you're gonna hear later about how much I love the Legendaries of Gen 6. As for my least favorite, and this is another controversial one, because he was pretty up on the list, Komodo. Gen 7, what was I gonna say, mono, something? Like the pseudo-legendary, there we go, that's what I've been trying to say. I think he's a pseudo-legendary anyway, but he's just, you know, the design never caught me as a kid. Even today, it still just looks, it's not great overall. It just looks like a bunch of scales, which I guess is what they were obviously going for, but I don't like that design, personally. As for Fairy, we see the return of Mimikyu. Mimikyu is just a general favorite. You know, everyone seems to really like Mimikyu now, which makes sense. I mean, when Gen 6 came around, everyone was fanboying over Greninja. There's a lot to love. Yes, for every fiber I put in there, I get a quarter of water. Okay, understandable. Hey, Tubby. You want to listen to me complain about Pokemon? Yeah. Oh, yeah, so Mimikyu is back. Second place for them was Xerneas. And there's not very many fairy Pokemon, so I can understand having the same guy up there. And as for their least favorite, which really surprises me, is Alcremie. At least, and it surprised me a lot when I first saw it, but when I looked into it a little bit more, the list didn't have Aromatisse, which is what everyone just says is the worst fairy. It's one of the worst Pokemon, because it's just, they took the idea of a plague doctor, and they shit on it. They just ate it. And, I mean, yeah, they're definitely my least favorite fairy as well, but I went along with whatever was on the list, so I didn't put that as my worst either. Tubby, stop rubbing in the book. I mean, Alcremie, he's such a cute design. I'm really surprised about that one. And then as for my favorite, it was a very big toss-up between Xerneas and Diancie. Two Gen 6, like, one's a legendary, one was a mythical. And, like, I love both of those dudes. They're really cool. Do I need shade? There. This will work, right? No, it actually is. But, yeah, I mean, what's not to... I don't know. Alcremie is just such a nice design. I don't remember where I was talking. See, that's the main problem with me. I'm not good at talking. But I like to talk, so shut up. Just listen. But yeah, so then Xerneas and Diancie. Xerneas I love because of the games, and Diancie I really love because of the movie she was in. And I watched that movie a lot because me and my older sister, really like Pokemon, and we watched that a lot. and it was a really good movie. I liked it. And as for my least favorite, it would be Aromatisse. Because he wasn't on the list, I put Mimikyu. Because I looked at every other fairy, and I'm like, wow, those are really cute. I really like them. And they always edged over Mimikyu for me. I think they're a really nice Pokemon. The idea is cool. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan, I guess. For Ice, another returner from one of the tops for water, Lapras. And then Frostlass is also here. And I can get why both of them are there. You know, they're very, not basic. They're basic enough to be universally liked, but then distinct enough to really just hold on to people as their favorite. So I get it. And then their least favorite was Smoochum. And then I have a little thing saying no CTD. Oh yeah, okay. I was very confused what the hell that symbol meant. But yeah, the ice types for the list for everybody. Not a single one was like C or D. Like everything was B or above. So people seem to really genuinely like the ice type designs. And there's not very many, so I guess people just had to sort of deal with it and just take whatever they could. Which makes sense. But yeah, I kind of agree. The ice types generally are all okay. But Smoochum is definitely lacking in terms of design. For my favorite ice type is definitely Mamoswine. Still is. Just a cool dude. And then as for my least favorite, I put Jinx. I think the hate for Jinx is very much so deserved, because she's just, again, another person. I don't care much for the ones that just look like people. Some of them are okay, like Machamp is okay. Lucario kind of also, to me at least, looks like a person, but definitely more of a furry person. Which I kind of hate even more, but at the same time, at least it's a little distinct. I mean, general people-looking ones, not for me. Just not. Sorry. And then as for... what are we up to next? Dark. People love Umbreon, another evolution. And I think, just generally, the love for Umbreon is just pretty universal. I mean, I think they're okay. But, yeah, they are a really good design. They pretty much scream Dark type, which is what they're meant to do. They're really cool. Their least favorite was a Pokemon called Impidimp. And I have no idea what the hell this Pokemon is, so I don't really feel like I can talk about it, because I don't understand it. So I'm not going to input, because I'm not going to give any decent input. As for my favorite Dark type, I put Sableye. With a very close second of Liepard. Liepard I always liked because I had a really cool Pokemon cards of them, and I always just really liked looking at them. I like cheetahs. It is thundering. But yeah, I just generally love that sort of design. Let's see. There we go. But yeah, so Sableye though is definitely my favorite. He was one that I always loved as a kid, and I absolutely still love him now. Well, SPF went all the way up. That's good. Can I make walls? Oh, I see. As for, I mean, he's just cool. You know, the gemstone look, I really love that idea. It just looks cool. Oh, I want it over here, on this wall. Why doesn't that work? Oh, it wants me. Oh, wait. This is very weird. Oh, there we go. But as for my least favorite is Vullaby. They're just not cool looking. Like, a lot of dark types just have that sort of cool aesthetic to them. Vullaby does not. And obviously they're a first stage, so I guess it makes sense. But at the same time, there's a lot of cool looking first stage dark types. But Impidimp is kind of the same. And it could look a lot better. Is what I think the main response to them is. It could look a lot better for what they are. Next up is Steel, where everyone seems to love Scizor, and I get it. Scizor's freaking cool, dude. Like, seriously cool. I don't think there's much else to talk about. Scizor's just a cool freaking Pokemon. Their second place was Aggron, so yeah, they're another cool one. Definitely, I like Scizor a lot more. The community's least favorite is Kling, the first evolution of the Kling Clang lineup from Gen 5, and I get it. It's just 2 gears, nothing really creative about it, but I think they're cool. I like them a little. Anyway. Am I dying? Oh no, it's just really dark out. Okay. Where'd the tree go that I just chopped down? I just chopped down a tree. Where did it go? Hold on. It went into the heavens, I guess. But yeah. My favorite is Metang. So not Metagross, Metang. I love Metang. I had really cool cards of him again as a kid. Just generally really cool looking guy. And my second favorite is Shieldon. The fossil Pokemon. I think he's really cool. I like him a lot. One that I still appreciate today. One I don't appreciate today is my least favorite, and that would have to be Bastiodon, his evolution. They took this super cute, super just charming Shieldon, and they shat on him. They disrespected him. What is happening? What is these trees? I don't understand what's going on there. But, yeah, they could have done something with him. Instead, they just spat on him and gave him a really, really bad second evolution, in my opinion, which is correct, so screw you. As for Bug, Scizor, again, makes its way into the fray. Everyone loves Scizor. Second place, other than him, though, was Volcarona. And I can see it. Volcarona is definitely pretty dang cool. I have a lot of respect for Volcarona. And then as for, they're just cool. Firebug, really good, really fun typing. And I used them a lot because I thought they were really interesting. Pretty cool. Their least favorite is Amoonguss. I don't know if that's because of recent events, recent games, but I can see it. I can definitely see the hate for him. There's like a window wall. But yeah. So Amoonguss is their least favorite. I think he's a cool design, but yeah, just the name kind of lives on. And a lot of the hated ones as well were all the cocoon Pokemon, so like Kakuna, Metapod, which I get, because again, they're just that same sort of line as just the balls. You know, no one really cares about the dumb shape-looking ones. As for my favorite, I wrote down 3 again. Third place, Vespiquen, because Vespiquen is really cool. I love Combee, so I'm glad that they actually made him kind of useful in terms of Vespiquen. And then in second place is Pinsir. Pinsir I used to love as a kid. I still love him now. Just not as much as number 1, because I've grown a lot more attached to number 1 through, I'm honestly not sure what, but a mix of everything. Which is Parasect, which is one that people don't really appreciate that much, which is a shame, because Parasect is really cool, really cute. There's a lot to love, in my eyes anyway, about Parasect. But it's cool that other people don't see it. It's whatever. Sleeper pick. It's fine. I'm okay with that. And as for my least favorite bug, I have Illumise and Volbeat. They are so bland and just so ugh. I have genuinely nothing but bad things to say about them. They just like I'm okay with bland looking Pokemon, but they just look ugly. They look nasty. They don't look fun. They're not fun to use. They're just basic bug type losers. I'm not a fan of them at all. moving into normal. Normal is one that I really love a lot. There's a lot of love for normal types. Everyone's favorite is Snorlax, followed by Arceus. Two good picks. I think there's a lot of love to be had for both of those Pokemon. Yeah, sticks. So yeah, nothing to say too much about those. Snorlax is fat, so he's kind of cool. Everyone's least favorite seems to be Stuffle, which is like, his first evolution of Beware. I don't really see why there's hate for that dude. He's just that a dude, I mean, I don't know. I don't see a reason to hate him. But then again, I mean, there's reasons to hate everything. Sorry, my allergies are still all around and they suck. I hate them. Pick this up. Make some stairs. Do you want to make the stairs now? Yeah. But yeah, so Snuffle, I don't really see. I don't approve. But it's not really my. Doesn't matter what I think. This is the community's thing, so they can be wrong all they want, and I can just sit there and be like, "Haha, you're wrong," and laugh at them. For my favorite, I have a lot of normal type favorites as well. Second place is Kecleon. Chameleons are my favorite animal. They always were as a kid. I think they still are today. Just they're so cool, and Kecleon definitely makes it cool as well. And just the general design for Kecleon, really cool. I have nothing but love for Kecleon. And then as for my true favorite is Porygon Z. More so just the Porygon line in general, but Porygon Z is my favorite of the three. And that sentiment seems to be shared with the community. They were up there. I don't remember how up there they were, but generally speaking, they were pretty up there. One that really surprised me that was up there was freaking, what is it? Tauros. Tauros was 4th place. Like, in the entire list of, like, normal types. It blew my mind, because I don't really see Tauros much, and I never thought he was really all that interesting. But people seem to completely disagree there. So, I mean, it's interesting to look at this stuff, because you really start to notice a lot more about just what people think about Pokemon. And some people do like the basics, as long as they are cool, which is cool. Works for me. And then, as for my least favorite normal type, Licky Licky, the evolution of Licky Tongue, just, they're not great. I don't really care for them. That's really all I have to say there. As for Rock, how much time was it? It's 43 minutes. Jesus, okay, we'll try to speed through these. When I get to the subcategories, maybe we'll just talk about that at a later day. For Rock type, the Tyranitar and Aggron, mostly Tyranitar, made it into the top for them. For the public, they're cool. They're just big, dragony looking dudes that aren't dragons, so I get it. And then, with Rock type worst, we have 2 returners, because the very bottom of the barrel was Bionicle again. After that was Carkol. So to get one that sort of was different, I went for the next worst one, which was Stonejourner, which just looks like Stonehenge. Like a piece of Stonehenge, anyway. Which is like, I mean, it's cute, I guess. I kind of like it, especially compared to my least favorite. Day 4. Cool. My favorite Rock, other than Minior, because Minior is really cool. I really like Minior. His design is on point. I like the idea of them as well. Really cool. But Shuckle. Shuckle is probably my favorite Pokemon to date. There's nothing to hate about him. I genuinely love that dude. He's such a cutie. Such a cool guy. I just love him. I have a crocheted Shuckle from my sister. And then I have a lot of different other things in my room that just have Shuckle based on it, because Shuckle is just cool. I feel like Natu is also up there. It's just cute and cool at the same time that I really enjoy, but not as much as Shuckle. Not as much as many Pokemon, but Natu's up there. And my least favorite is Graveler, the middle evolution for Golem. I don't know why there isn't more hate for this guy. Again, another just ball. Another second evolution ball that just isn't interesting to look at. It's not a cool looking Pokemon at all. As for ground, Flygon took the lead for them. Which is interesting because he wasn't even a contender for the favorites for the dragon type for them. Which is weird. I found that very weird. But either way, I mean, people. But yeah, Flygon definitely deserves to be somewhere in their favorites. So I'm glad he showed up when they did. As for least favorite, there's Ursaluna, which is technically a new Pokemon. But I don't want to count that one just because of how new he is. People just sort of naturally hate newer things. But I did want to point out that he was definitely on the bottom for that one. And then Silicobra, which is, I guess, it's the first stage evolution to Sandaconda, I think its name is, from 8th Gen 8. And I mean, I get it. He's just a basic looking snake. He's basic to the point where he also doesn't even look that cute. He kind of looks bleh. So I can see it. For my favorite, I put Gliscor, followed by Claydol. I think Claydol is a really good Pokemon. I like him a lot more than Baltoy, which seems to be a different opinion from most people. But I like Claydol a lot. Again, mostly from the cards that I had as a kid. I had a ton of Pokemon cards. And if you're the type of kid who played the Pokemon card game, like, legitimately, you're silly. You know how you're supposed to play that? You're supposed to use them like dolls. Just go around, give each one a personality, and just play with them like dolls. That's what I did. That's what my sisters did. We just had it was fun, alright? You laugh, but it was fun. Probably didn't even laugh. Probably just like, really? Okay. But yeah, it's fun. Do it one time. At least once. And then for my least favorite is Numel. He's just a stupid looking camel thing. I mean, I feel like in a different world, I would like him a lot more. But not this one. Definitely not this one. Don't care much for him. We are just deforesting this whole area. I like it. Actually, I don't like it. We're running low on trees. All of our trees are small. But yeah, so, and then we can to flying. We're down to the last three types. For flying type, Rayquaza has taken the lead, followed by Ho-Oh. Some good picks. You know, Rayquaza's cool. Ho-Oh I like more than Rayquaza, but he's also pretty dang cool. I like Ho-Oh. And I like Rayquaza. Least favorite is Tranquil, second evolution for Enfazant, the Gen 5 bird. And I get it. Very, very basic one. But I like him. I like him that way. I like pigeons. I grew up in Brooklyn, so I have a distinct love-hate relationship with pigeons. Something I really wanted to mention, though. A lot of the first and second starter start up for those birds made on the bottom of that list, which I think is a crime, because they're cool. Alright, they're not, maybe some of them aren't cool, but a lot of them are just at least interesting enough for me, anyway. So to see them on the bottom, like frickin' Trumbeak, Fletchinder, Pidgeotto, Staravia, just a lot of them made it to the bottom, which is a shame, because they're cool, or they're just cute, at the very least. My favorite, in terms of flying, is Chatot. Such a cool looking friggin' bird. Such a cool design, such a cool concept. Everything about Chatot is just awesome. One of my top 3 favorite Pokemon, for sure. And then I followed it up with Braviary. I loved him as a kid, had a lot of cool cards. And Arceus definitely, Legends Arceus definitely made me like him a little bit more as well. And then Farfetch'd, my third. And him and Braviary are very switchable, because in Gen 6, my first playthrough, I used the Quacklen Farfetch'd, the sort of gift one that you get from a guy in the game, which I always thought was super dang cool. How's this one work? Okay, I don't want that. But yeah, I love Farfetch'd. Just playing that game made me love Farfetch'd. And then my least favorite, I put Fearow. I hate his neck. I know, very picky, but I really hate his neck. Just immediately turned me off from him, just in general. And then we move into fighting. Everyone seems to love Infernape. Again, so he showed up. He wasn't the favorite, so I didn't write a second one, which is a shame, I'm sorry. But yeah, and then as for least favorite, Tyrogue made it on the list there for the community. Which, I mean, I don't really see why. I guess he's just because he's just kind of a dude. But a lot of the fighting types are just dudes, so I mean, I guess he's just a less cool purple dude, so fair enough. My favorite fighting type is Breloom. Breloom is, and again, very up there in terms of my favorite. Just because he's cute, he's cool, he's just awesome to use. Technician Breloom is one of my favorite things to use in Pokemon. Combine that shit with Bullet Seed, mwah, you're looking good. As for my least favorite, I put Mienshao. And they're okay. I don't hate very many of the fighting types, but Mienshao is just meh. Mienshao is what they should have called him. Full of jokes today. One. But, yeah, so, yeah, Mienshao, didn't really care for him. Not about to, either, to be honest with you. He's got the cool little weird big arms, but I mean, they're not even that cool to me. And our final type is Poison, where Crobat and Gengar took the list for them. Crobat was first, which surprised me, because Gengar I would have sworn made it at least first. Like when I saw he didn't make it first for Ghost, I'm like, okay, he's gonna make it first for Poison though. But no, Crobat took it, and Crobat's awesome. I love Crobat. He's got a cool design. Oops, I picked something up I don't want. He's got a cool design, cool everything about him. I generally really love Crobat, so that was a good choice by the community there. As for least favorite, it was Toxel, which is a first evolution, again, considered more to Impidimp from Gen 8 Pokemon that I don't know. So I went for the next one, which was Trubbish. Everyone gives Trubbish and Garbodor hate. He's a trash Pokemon. He's based on trash. Obviously, the design is going to look similar to trash, so people probably aren't going to like it instinctively from there. But they made good with what they had, honestly, in my opinion, at least. They did pretty dang good. I really don't see the hate for Trubbish. And then Garbodor, too. But Garbodor people seem to be warming up to, which is good. But, I mean, it's just crazy. How many people just don't like Trubbish? Like, he's a garbage bag Pokemon. They introduced him in Gen 5 when they're having Pokemon potentially falling out of trash cans. Like, what do you want that to be? A freaking, Eevees popping out of the trash? Freaking, it's just, I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand. But yeah, I mean, I get it, though. He's a trash bag, so obviously people aren't going to like the trash bag. But I think it's a good design for what they had, for the concept. And then we move into my favorite. Second place, definitely Victory Bell. He's definitely second place for me in terms of grass as well. Oh, maybe not grass. Yeah, not grass, but he's up there for grass, though, for sure. Love grass. Grass as a type is one of my favorites. But yeah, I've always loved Victory Bell. I don't know why, to be honest with you. He's kind of weird. But I mean, I like him, so sue me, I guess. But yeah, my favorite is Seviper. I remember going to a friend's house, more so, How do I make the roof work? But yeah, I remember going to a friend's house at one point. it was a neighbor more so than anything, but they were cool people. So we talked to them. It was good. And one of the things what we did was use rummage through all their shit because we were just having fun. And I had found a Viper keychain that they had, and I was like, "Wow, that's so cool!" And they're like, "You can have it if you want." I'm like, "No way!" So that's how I got that, and I have loved Viper ever since because I thought the design is cool. I have some backstory with him as well, so of course I'm gonna like him. Yeah, he's generally a really freaking cool dude. And as for my least favorite, Gulpin, just a green blob. I don't. He's okay. Again, I don't really hate very many Pokemon, but he's just bland. And also, every time I fight him, I hate him because he always just poison gases, and then he just freaking spits up at you, and he's not fun. He's not cool. That sucks. I dislike him. So yeah, that was all of them, all of the Pokemon from every single type that people like, people don't like, and that I don't like and like as well. In terms of the game, we have made a really shitty shelter, in a sense, and we've survived, so that's good. I barely ever make it past day 3 in this game, because I can never get water going, but I got water going this time around, so maybe we'll survive yet. But yeah, so I had a bunch more categories, but I'll probably just talk about them a different time. Maybe I just won't talk about them at all. Who knows? If I go back into Pokemon again, then I'll do that. But not next time. I don't want to crowd this up with too much of the same thing. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Stranded Deep in Conversation. Tune in next time, where we'll talk about something. I'm sure I'll have it figured out by then. Every Thursday. That's the plan. Every Thursday for this. So, you all have a fantastic, stupendous, marvelous rest of your day. Bye-bye now.